This is the one conspiracy theory that I'm rolling with. I'm not a conspiracy.
No, you're not. I am. I am.
You definitely are, right? But so here's my thought. My thought was this: that Joe Girardi, being a former player, was not liking the way the Yankees and their medical staff had been treating their players. If you notice, since Girardi has left, they have really destroyed some of their young players, particularly Severino. How Girardi, being a former player, probably doesn't like people lying to anybody about medicals or what players should be doing to take care of their bodies. And it's pretty suspicious how the Yankees are always, all along have been saying, oh, nothing's wrong with Severino, nothing's wrong with Severino. And then it turns out everything's wrong with his shoulder.
And that's why
the Yankees do kind of screw around with players' medicals and try to get them on the field as much as possible.
I agree.
Hurt and things like that.
I agree. And Severino, and I will tell you this, Jeff, I'm sorry I'm cutting you off. I agree with you, and I've said this many, many times. I believe the Yankees knew that Severino's shoulder was done after giving him that 5 or 4 year contract of 5 years, because they knew they were going to lose him for at least 2 or 3 of those years, of those 5.
So that's my conspiracy theory, right? Is that's probably, for me, I think that may be where, things all fell apart for Girardi with the Yankees. He probably looked at it as a former player and said, I can't be a part of this. You guys are killing players. Like, you guys are really hurting these guys. And maybe Cashman and the boys said, shut up. If you don't like it, leave. And that might be where some of the friction came from.
Possibly. But we don't know the whole story behind it. I'm sure there'll be a book or something written in 10, 15, 20 years when Girardi's out of baseball and Brian Cashman's an old man talking like this, talking about the Yankees' success.
I just can't believe all of the things that have gone on with the Yankees players, like medically, that people aren't pointing a finger. You know what I'm saying? Like who's responsible for?
I have.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think when you look at Aaron Judge, how do you misunderstand what a broken or a fractured rib is? This is a guy that slid on a field, catching a ball on a field. What was it, in the middle of the season last year? And he was off this whole time. And how many CAT scans this guy had? I think they said 3 and 2 MRIs, and they couldn't find what was wrong with his ribs. And then they're talking about taking the rib out. Why would you go to the public eye and say, you know what, we don't know if it's going to heal or if it's not, so there is quite possibly where we're going to have to take that rib out. Why would you say that to the national press where it becomes a story about, and that's why they had to fire all those trainers. The Yankees made mistakes because they came out with too much information at the wrong time. And I think this has been the Yankees' problem year in and year out for the last 10 years.
But they've been doing it forever. How long? They shut down Severino to end 1 year, and then they said he was coming back, and then he didn't come back until September. You know what I'm saying? And then they tried to pitch him again, and now he's having surgery.
And he showed up late to his playoff game.
You've been toying with this dude, just Severino and his medicals, for 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
But they were right about Tanaka. Tanaka has pitched, and he hurt himself 2.5 years ago, and he's still pitching. And even though he's not a great regular season pitcher, numbers will tell you he's one of the best playoff pitchers to ever play. So, I mean, this guy pitches in big games.
But there's so many guys getting hurt that they always tell you are coming back.
Right.
James Paxton. Greg Bird's coming back. Stanton's coming back. Judge is coming back. And all the injuries kept piling up. And then you find out that they're worse than first reported. And then it's going to take longer. And then magically
it's healing now. It's healing now.
Had a setback.
Aaron Judge did come out the other day. So all you fans know that Aaron Judge did come out and say that it is healing. Slowly, but it's healing, and he's feeling a lot better. So there will not be any rib surgery like the Yankees came out. Why would you tell the press that? It's so stupid, because they become the laughingstock of baseball, because they're like, oh, the Yankees are turning into the Mets. They don't know how to control or protect their players. That's what it's turning into. And to me, it's a joke. It's a joke.
If I were a Yankees player, this is just me, and I know that you're going to call me a hater and say, oh, you're a Red Sox fan, that's why you say that. I know all your responses. But if I were a Yankees player, I'm not even going to any of their doctors for anything. As soon as their doctor tells you something, I'm going to my own dude to get myself checked out because I wouldn't trust them.
As of right now, the Yankees need to prove that they can be trustworthy again. They hired new trainers. They brought in, and they have, everybody knows New York has the best doctors in the world. The best doctors work here. So it's not the doctors, it's the trainers. It's the person that's going into the gym, working out with the guys. And listen, I heard that when Giancarlo Stanton gained 5 pounds of muscle last year in the offseason when he came to the Yankees, I said, for what? The guy is still powerful. He's still in great shape. Why are you putting 5 pounds of muscle on this guy?
That increases his likelihood of getting hurt.
And then Aaron Judge is 280 pounds, 6'8". He's built like an ox. Why are you putting him in the gym, making him weightlift where he's benching 400 or 500 pounds? Why is he doing that? Why? I don't care how strong he is, how big he is. He should not be in the gym as a professional athlete at the age of 25, benching 350 to 400 pounds 5 or 6 times off his chest. As a trainer, I would not be doing that. And I am a personal trainer, and I'm a licensed personal trainer in 2 different styles of personal training. So I've done it for years, and I train myself. And I'm sorry, I don't want to hear that Aaron Judge can bench 350 to 450 pounds. I don't want to hear that because he shouldn't be on the bench doing that. He shouldn't. This is a professional athlete. This is a professional athlete that's he's gonna be probably requesting between $250 and $260 million when his contract's up in a year from now.
You would hope. He has to stay durable, though.
I don't think he is.
I mean, I realize I'm going to use an injured guy as like an example of this.
We got to go to break.
But I legitimately don't understand why players lift weights, right? I understand you need strength. You need strength to a degree. I get that.
It's technical.
But didn't Ken Griffey Jr. kind of prove that it's kind of all about hips and core strength and bat speed and not necessarily I can bench 3,000 pounds and squat whatever. Like, you know, like there's a lot. Like look at Altuve. He's got a lot of pop for a little dude. Say what you want about the cheating. Okay, we can all hit it if we know what's coming. He's still got a lot of pop.
Look how fat.
Look how fat
He's
Vladimir. Got a lot of pop for a little dude.
Look how fat Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is. He's fat. You would look at him at the plate, and you would wonder how the hell is this fat guy going to come around and smash the ball the way he does? And the guy is unbelievable. Cecil Fielder. Remember Cecil Fielder?
Buddy, that's genetics. Go look at Big Vlad.
Well, we all know about Vladimir Guerrero, but that guy was not as fat as his son. His son is a big dude, man.
No, but his son is also a lot shorter than Vlad. If you went and looked at Vlad was a much bigger kind of dude.
Oh, yes.
Taller.
Yes.
Like taller.
Yes, but Vladimir
Jr.
Point,
But that's like the thing to
it's
me.
Technical.
Like you see a lot of dudes with like pop. You know, like Speedy said, you get hurt when you lift muscles, and if there's too much muscle, you get hurt that way. Like people should be, you know, doing the TB12 method, do some Pilates, do some yoga, core strength, like strengthen that way, not lifting. I mean, you got to lift weights to a degree. You got to still have strength.
Yeah, 225 pounds max.
How much you can bench.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
You know,
I'm the first person and the last person that will agree with you. I do not know why Aaron Judge is 280 pounds worth of muscle. He should have cut at least 20 or 30 pounds. I understand why everybody thinks Zion Williamson is never going to be successful in the league, but it's very hard for a guy with that kind of muscle, especially in his lower part of his body, to cut that kind of weight. So it's going to be harder for somebody like Zion than Aaron Judge, where most of his weight is in his upper body, where you can cut that kind of muscle out of your diet and stuff like that. So,
but Aaron Judge is so tall, he could be a lot leaner than he is. You know?
Yeah. No, I agree. Aaron Judge should not be that big.
He doesn't need to be some muscle-bound idiot.
No, he doesn't. But he is. And that's why I've been saying this many, many times. It's not about strength. It's about technique. I've said this over and over again. Baseball is all technical. A-Rod has said this over and over again to players, that when he played baseball, what made A-Rod so special is he used to be able to see the seams. When the pitcher lets go of the ball, he could see the seams and the way it twists or how it's falling before it even got to the catcher. He would see it. So he knew where the ball was going before the ball went there. So he could predict where the ball was going to land in the glove by watching film and seeing the pitcher and the way his release point. you have to be technically good. Darrelle Revis, when he played football, he said, well, how did you become so good? And all these corners have asked him, why were you so good at what you did? Darrelle Revis came out and said, the reason why I was so good, because I watch film. And I know where the guy is going to run, where his takeoff point is, and where he's going to use his routes, where I'm going to be able to cut into his routes and take the ball from him. He knew that because of watching film. And that's where professional sports, the best athletes in the world are the best at that. Peyton Manning, why was he so good as a quarterback? And why was he so good at stopping and beating up defenses that he beat up against in the regular season? Because he watched film.
He studied different types of coverages.
But when it came down to it in the playoffs, he didn't play as well because there were coaches that would use different plays, different
coverage
disguises
different
that threw him off.
Complicated defenses, yeah.
But I think that's a lot of people's problems. They think if they lift weight, like they're just going to hit so many more home runs. And, I think more people should be concentrating on, look at what happened to Tiger Woods, right? He went weights. Oh, I'm going to lift weights. I'm going to be huge. I'm going to be so strong. Dude, he was a better player when he was just filled with core strength and he was a little skinny dude. And he got hurt when he was lifting weights.
He was doing steroids too.
It seems like every tournament he was leaving because of a back problem.
He was doing steroids too. He was another one that has been caught with the same trainer and doctor that A-Rod was using. He was definitely doing steroids too.
But it doesn't matter. Like, these aren't sports that you need to be
you're absolutely
bulky in. They're quickness sports.
No sport.
Like I realize Ken Griffey got hurt a bunch of times and had some leg injuries, whatever. But go and look at Ken Griffey and his body. He was rail thin, and he used to pound home runs.
I agree with you, Jeff. In none of these sports, you have to be a big dude to be a superstar. And that's a fact. Go look at every single sport. Some of the best players in basketball are skinny little twigs. And then you see some of the best players in basketball, big, huge guys like LeBron James. Same thing with baseball. Mike Trout is a big man. But then you look at Mookie Betts and you're like, how is this guy one of the best players in baseball? And look how thin he is. Look at it. It's not about strength. It's not about that. It's technique.
It's not. Mookie Betts might have the quickest hands in baseball.
He's there. He's definitely there.
He might have the quickest hands in baseball. It's ridiculous. You don't need, it's just about bat speed. It's like golf. They have that thing called smash factor, which is like club head speed and ball speed. And it's gotten so technical. You don't have to swing hard to get things to move. It's an inertia thing. All you got to do is do the math problem and find out how to, get more power into it.
And that's baseball
why they're
is.
Stressing launch angle all the time for baseball and exit velocity.
That's what baseball is now. It's all really chemistry and mathematical equations. That's what it is. They use these different torques of the ball.
That's why it doesn't make sense to me. Aaron Judge is lifting weights, and all these guys are lifting weights. Like, I feel like they're just asking for more injuries and more problems.
Absolutely. Their joints, their muscles. As you get older, and I can tell you right now, I'm into the gym. I'm going to be 38 in April, and I'll tell you this straight out. My body, every time I work out, it doesn't heal the next day. It takes 2 days for that body part to even come close to healing. And I don't take any protein. Now I have to take more in of protein to heal quicker because I never took protein at the time that I was 20 years old and I was doing the things that I was doing in the gym. So,
and then you're a baseball player playing 162 games or whatever.
Your body gets sore.
However many they play. Obviously, they're going to
Jeff, I played street hockey. I played street hockey the other day. And I'm not going to brag, but I dominated. But I'll tell you straight out, I'm not going to brag. I dominated, played with a bunch of people. But after that, my shoe broke during the game. So I played with one shoe for an hour and a half. After the game, I was so sore for like 4 days. My back, my neck, my arms. I got hit with a puck in my shoulder, my elbow. Dude, it's not the same. When I was a kid, I would go back the next day and play.